All right, let's talk about ChatGPT and where on earth it fits within the field of machine learning. My name's Mike Freilich. I'm a clinician scientist, and my area of research expertise and interest is in machine learning. So, what is machine learning? What machine do you need? Well, most machine learning can be done just on your good old laptop or desktop computer, unless you have a massive data set. But really, machine learning, it's a toolkit, and it takes time to know when is it the right versus wrong tool to use for your research project. And a definition I like, it's a form of artificial intelligence which mines data for patterns. And sometimes these patterns can provide a rich understanding of the data and sometimes be used for prediction. The two main areas within machine learning are supervised learning and unsupervised learning. So I'm going to give you some toy examples just to try to bring it to life here. But with supervised learning, you're trying to predict some outcome, an outcome that is knowable. In unsupervised learning, instead, you're trying to understand your data set. So let's say you wanted to build a model that predicts who's going to win the Oscars this year. Well, to do so, you can get years of prior data and see who won and who lost and feed that into a model that can start to look for patterns. So maybe the strongest predictor is, I don't know, who the star actor is. Maybe the strongest predictor is who directed it or how much money was spent. Most often nowadays with supervised learning, commonly you'll see black box techniques like neural networks and other deep learning techniques. Contrast that with unsupervised learning. So you might want to know, geez, is there only one type of movie or are there genres within movies? And of course there's genres, but these genres aren't necessarily knowable or definitive. For example, I watch Good Will Hunting. I think that's a comedy. My wife watches Good Will Hunting and she thinks that's a romance. We can both be right. We can both be wrong. So where does ChatGPT fit into this? Well, under this heading of machine learning, another category is self-supervised learning. And self-supervised learning methods are really good at generating content. So let's say, for example, you wanted it to write a movie script for you. That's something that a self-supervised learning model could be quite good at it. So what you're most familiar with probably is ChatGPT. There's been many other and will continue to be other self-supervised learning models that get released. ChatGPT was developed by OpenAI. It's currently freely available. Just sort of Google it and you can create an account. And really what changed to make this so much better than other self-supervised learning models is a seminal paper that came out in 2017 entitled Attention is All You Need. And this identified something called a transformer model. Think of a transformer model as like a neural network on steroids, okay? So let's put ChatGPT to the test. So I gave it the prompt, write a movie script about doctors being cool. All right. And within a few seconds, so it's entitled The Cool Doctors. So starting scene, we see a busy hospital with doctors and nurses rushing through the hallways. And then we go into a hospital room. We see a patient, Joe, in his 40s lying in a hospital bed. We see some text now. Okay, the script, Joe, weekly, Sarah, I'm scared. You know, the script goes on and it's pretty impressive. Within a few seconds, it's created this. You might be wondering, well, how does it work? It's really hard to explain this, all right, but bear with me. Essentially, these transformer models were trained on a massive corpus of data, millions of websites, of textbooks, of conversations, of newspaper articles, you name it. And at its very core, you can think of it as using like a cover uncover method. All right. So aspirin is a blank. Maybe the first time around, the model makes a random guess. Aspirin is a octopus. And then it looks through all the times those series of words were found across this massive amount of data. And it realizes, oh, this almost never happens. Clearly that's wrong. I'm going to try again. Aspirin is a anti-inflammatory, and it goes across all that data and realizes, hey, yeah, anti-inflammatory comes up a decent amount. So maybe that is the correct word to predict in the sentence thereafter. And remember that computers like numbers. Computers, they can't do anything with an image or a word, but you can take a word or an image and turn it into a number. So let's turn the word dog into a number. Maybe, for example, for every consonant you give it a point. So now we've assigned dog a score of 2. You can also give it another number, perhaps based on pairs of letters that are in it. So D and O, you get 2 points. O and G, you get 2 points. And this can go on and on and on. And we can turn this word into a series of numbers, what we call a vector. But you can also assign it a number based on where it resides in space. What do you mean in space? What I mean is in other texts, what other words typically appear in a similar sentence or a close sentence as the word dog. And from millions, billions of different data points, you can sort of see what words kind of cluster together, and they're going to be very different from other word clusters. So now you can assign the word another number. Yes, I know this isn't the world's best explanation, but hopefully what I'm at least conveying is that you can take a word, you can turn it into a number. You can also assign it a number based on the context, based on what other words typically reside in that space. And then these transformer models identify patterns over this massive amount of data. OpenAI has also created other tools. MusiNet, you give it a text prompt and it can create new music. And DALL-E, you give it a text prompt and it'll create a picture. So I said, draw me a picture of a cool doctor. This is what it came up with. All right. So it created this. All right. This isn't just like pulled from the web. 3 teaching points that hopefully you'll remember. Machine learning is simply a toolkit. 3 main branches of machine learning are supervised learning. Let's predict who will win an Oscar. Self-supervised learning, let's write a movie script. Unsupervised learning, let's understand, are there movie genres? And then last point, self-supervised learning models will be the future, I think. Let me know what you liked, what you hated about this video, and what I can do differently next time. Thanks so much.